can't even look at her in the eyes now. What's up?
No comments to that.
Are we actually going?
We're going, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is good.
Why? What is? There's something wrong with my mic. I'm fucking blaming
Here, we'll
Zach.
stop it.
No, don't stop it. We're fine. What the? We're good.
God damn it,
Let's
Zach.
just keep going.
All right.
All right. Am I starting off?
Yep, go, Andy.
All right. We're going to touch on looting this evening. It's very, very fun since some people are in defense of looting, like this one author that we're about to cover. So the article is posted on NPR. It was recently edited, so I'll put that out there. So this version I've actually not read.
So
I read
it's
the previous
recently
version.
edited. So what was the original version then?
They probably just changed the title, so it's probably almost like exact same article.
No, they included information on Kenosha, and Jacob Blake.
Kenosha writer.
It was written on the 27th originally, so I don't know what else they did to it. But so the title of the article is "One Author's Controversial View in Defense of Looting." It was originally called "One Author's Argument in the Defense of Looting," so that's already one difference. So I don't know if we'll have time to go through the whole article, so I'll do this intro and then we can kind of take some of these sections. So it starts off, in the past months of demonstrations for Black Lives, there's been a lot of condemnation of looting. Whether if it was New York Governor Andrew Cuomo saying that stealing purses and sneakers from high-end stores in Manhattan is inexcusable, or St. Paul, Minnesota Mayor Melvin Carter saying looters were destroying our community. Police officers, government officials, and pundits alike have denounced the property damage and demanded an end to riots. And just last week, rioters have burned buildings and looted stores in Kenosha following the police shooting of Jacob Blake, to which Senator Ron Johnson said it was peaceful protest. He said peaceful protesting is a constitutionally protected form of free speech. Rioting is not, which I would agree with. So the writer, Vicky Osterweil, her book In Defense of Looting came out Tuesday. Osterweil is a self-described writer, editor, and agitator who has been writing about and participating in protests for years. Oh, that makes sense.
What's a self-described agitator?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting lingo there.
Interesting. So she's like a professional protester. Sounds like.
She's probably somebody who has no idea, like she doesn't understand violence, and she doesn't understand how this shit gets out of control. And so
Mob
she's just
mentality.
like, so she thinks that she's like on the side of this because she's never, I just wonder if she hasn't seen it and how vicious things can get and how much they can get out of control. Because that's how a lot of these people are that are online that defend it. They're people that have never seen real violence and they don't know how frightening it is.
She's probably never owned a business either.
Yeah, especially.
Read down to the next paragraph.
Yeah, I just read one of the paragraphs. I'm waiting for her to get to it because it's so fucking ridiculous.
And her book arrives as the continued protests have emerged as a bitter dividing point in the presidential race. Do you want me to read the next paragraph?
Yeah.
Read the one that starts. Are you looking at the one that says, when I use the word looting? Is that the paragraph you're looking at?
I was looking at a new energy of resistance is building across the country. Now, as protests and riots come to rip cities, she stakes out the provocative position that looting is a powerful tool to bring about real, lasting change in society. The rioters who smash windows and take items from stores, she claims, are engaging in a powerful tactic that questions the justice of law and order and the distribution of property and wealth in an unequal society. Fuck you.
Real smart to justify it.
Okay, first of all, how many black-owned businesses have been hurt by looting just in that instance? But secondly, taking somebody else's material and items that are not yours is a crime, and justifying it is ridiculous. I mean, you're justifying people getting arrested, although that prosecutors are not, and district attorneys are not going forward with those prosecutions anyhow, so whatever. But that's so stupid. What a dumb sentence. What a dumb paragraph.
This whole thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like underneath, because I was looking at that one paragraph earlier that says, when I use the word looting, I mean the mass expropriation of property, mass shoplifting during a moment of upheaval or riot. That's the thing I'm defending. I'm not defending any situation which property is stolen by force. It's not a home invasion either. It's about certain kind of action that's taken during protests and riots. So just like the smashing of all the shit and stealing all of it.
Yeah, that's
just
fucking
that part,
bullshit.
just that
First of all, anyhow, you are taking it by force. If you break a window or you firebomb something, you are taking it by force. I don't know how else to explain that to you. And I think she's meaning that you're not going into somebody's home and stealing shit, but what's the difference? What's to stop somebody or any kind of criminals that are already looting from businesses to stop them from shining lights into your house or going to your neighborhood or knocking on your door and saying, "Hey, listen, that shit's mine now." I think it's ridiculous sentiment to even uphold.
What happens to these shop owners when they try to stop these people? There was that guy in Kenosha.
Yeah.
Remember, he was they were all like looting his place, and they were lighting a bunch of places on fire, and he sprayed a couple with the fire extinguisher, and then one kid knocked him out, and he was like a 72-year-old man, knocked out there on the sidewalk, just trying to defend his own property. But that's not okay.
Or you hire militia, and then you get dumb shit that happened like with the kid in Kenosha. Like, that's why shit happens, because you don't allow police officers to do the job. People show up that shouldn't be there. And the reason that they're there is because business owners are contracting people to protect their businesses because law enforcement won't, because we're not supporting law enforcement.
Dude.
And we have these dumb tactics of defunding the police that we've talked about on the podcast before, to where you're not actually helping society because you're not providing the training, you're not providing the simple outlook that we need to have. And then when Trump is right, you can't say that he's right because Orange Man bad, even though you don't have to agree with who he is as a person. But when he's right on one subject, if we can't, like Joe Rogan was talking about that, even with hydroxychloroquine, even if it's not a provable thing, all I'm saying is, like, if something works and it's proven to work, people would die on the left before taking it because Orange Man said it was good.
It's like the vaccine.
It's so dumb.
Kamala Harris said she wouldn't take it.
Dude, there's a whole section in here.
Yeah.
So how dangerous is that? How dangerous is that? Like, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but like, fuck, man.
Tim Pool hit on it because he was like, Trump made her anti-vax. It was pretty good, and he has I think it came out today.
But no, I mean, as far as that paragraph, what do you think, Andy? I mean, I know we're kind of hijacking your article here, but
no, that's fine.
But what do you think about that? I mean, that's
I'm
ridiculous.
I'm not fucking loot your article.
Yeah,
you thought you were going to talk?
You, Andy. Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm not doing it by force, but I mean,
yes, we are.
Yeah, fuck
yeah,
this.
I totally agree.
Drink it up, Andy. Drink up.
I totally agree with your force comment. Like, you're not just. Why? I don't know. I don't know how else to agree or add on to that, but I do agree with that. I think it's fascinating. She puts looting right into this small box, and then once it's
That's a good point.
Once anything outside of that, we got a commitment. But she many times in this article, she has no idea how mob mentality
and
works.
And fucking NPR posted this article. Yeah. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that either. I mean, I bitched about NPR in the past.
You talk about propaganda. I mean, this is fucking propaganda. It says right here, for people who haven't read your book, how do you define looting? Okay, so you have to ask that stupid question. How about we pull up a motherfucking dictionary and pull up, looting. Oh, yeah, taking shit that's not yours. Oh, that's real hard to find out.
Most people get pretty annoyed when you take shit that's not yours. When people get stuff and they didn't work for it and they just go steal it while everybody else is working, it's kind of aggravating.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, the whole fucking section that's under the title, can you talk about writing as a tactic? What are the reasons people deploy it as a strategy?
Well, I'm trying to find that. Oh, here we go.
They need stuff for free immediately, which means they're capable of living and reproducing their lives without having to rely on a job or wage.
Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy?
That. Are you reading that?
3 paragraphs.
So read that first paragraph, Andy.
Geez.
Take off that first paragraph.
Keep going with it.
Yeah, so it does start there.
Which during COVID times is widely unreliable, or particularly in these communities, is not often available, or it comes at a great risk. That's looting's most basic tactical power as a political mode of action. It also attacks the very way in which food and things are distributed. It attacks the idea of property. And it attacks the idea that in order for someone to have a roof over their head or have a meal ticket, they have to work for a boss. What? In order to buy things that people just like them somewhere else in the world had to make under the same conditions. What the? It points to the way in which that's unjust. It's unjust to
it's unjust to have to get a fucking job or to do anything in society to have stuff.
But let's dive deeper though. Let's actually look into psychology of this just for 1 minute. It's work for a boss. So do you see the distant from authority right there? Don't respect that boss. That boss is bad. You're sowing that into the minds of children that read this, and I say children, so young adolescents is what I probably should say.
They're children, though.
But,
if they believe this shit.
But think about your brain doesn't fully form until you're 25, and you look at the type of stuff that we're teaching kids in America, and you're teaching them not to have a job. At some sort of level, unless you work for yourself, you're okay. So if this article were to say, it's like, don't work for yourself, be an entrepreneur, build your business, you know what I mean? Don't have a boss, be your own boss. I would agree with that, but it doesn't say that. It says, don't work for a boss, take it like it was taken from you, like it was built like in the sweatshops in China. That's not what this is saying. You know what I mean? The sweatshops are in America. I mean, we can argue minimum wage and, UBI is all we want, but it's not arguing that. It's not going into policy. I don't see any policy here besides committing criminal acts. And so please explain me your policy position besides violating the law. Because lawlessness never descends into anything good.
No, it doesn't.
Do you see the rest of that paragraph? The rest of the
Go
paragraph
ahead,
is
Andy.
as fucking aggravating as it might even be more aggravating.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Hit points. Yeah, you're at.
You're at hit points to the way.
It points to the way which that's unjust, and the reason that the world is organized that way, obviously, is for profit of people who own the stores and factories. So you get to the heart of the property relation, and demonstrate that without the police and without state oppression, we can have things for free. Are you shitting me?
Maybe she's just trying to get into the psychology of it without necessarily backing it. But whoever
very
believes
weird way to
this,
do it.
whoever believes this is fucking stupid. Like, these are some of the dumbest people that exist on Earth.
So if we don't work, if nobody works, there's no stuff.
Well, she's saying that this is a Marxist.
Oh fuck, dude.
This is a Marxist.
The next paragraph is fucking, dude. It just doesn't end.
It's a bad train wreck.
It's like a pile of shit. You just keep throwing shit on top of it. I mean, just fucking, dude. You just keep shoveling manure over and over and over again. Importantly, I think, especially when it's in the context of black uprising,
here's
like the one we're living through now. It also attacks the history of whiteness and white supremacy. I mean, maybe people fucking think that.
So hold on.
It's fucking nuts,
let's get there in a minute. Let's stay on this. And the reason the world is organized that way.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, is for the profit of the people to own the stores. Yes, we're in a capitalist society. We're not fucking Marxist. The United States of America was not built on Marxism. We destroyed the Soviet Union and Russia. We're taking on the communists in China. We're trying to help the people in Hong Kong. We don't agree with what's going on with the Uyghurs. No one's talking about them in Hong Kong. That's what you get with the socialist country. Look at Canada. Look at a lot of these other places where you don't have freedom of speech. And that's right. Canada doesn't have freedom of speech, by the way. The United States does, and that's why she can write dumb shit like this and get it posted. Oh, you can't do that in Russia. Oh, in Russia you couldn't. In World War II, under the Bolsheviks, you couldn't write this in Russia. And how about the other communist nations? But when you try to ever commit something for free, that means you have no guarantee of your want or desire to do anything for yourself. You can't go out and create your own business, because say you do create a business, right? Mm-hmm. Say you create something like Amazon in an office with a stupid ass old computer, and then you have a dumb sign in your office, and then all of a sudden 10 years later you're one of the richest men in the world. Say you do that, and then they say, oh, that's not you, Jeff Bezos. That's not your money. That's our money now. Even though he didn't have a corporation back in him, but that he did it himself. What about Mark Zuckerberg, even though he just kind of technically steal the idea? But, anyhow, he still paid the people. But still, you have individuals that are creating jobs and creating, and becoming wealthy. And, some of these people just started from nothing. And yes, there are people like Trump that did get a handout from his dad, but he's still a billionaire.
That is a very rare time. That people get, that people that are rich get handouts.
Well, the 1% is always fluid. It's not a stagnant thing. People have this ideal that the 1% in the country it's like stagnant. It's always the same. 10 people sitting at the same table, making the same laws, controlling your life the same way. It's not. The 1% is very fluid. People don't stay there very often because you lose investment money. Shit happens. Look at Trump. Trump had a bunch of failures in business, and people want to knock that on him. Yeah, he's probably a bad businessman on some things. A lot of people are when they fail. But enough of my rant. But
doesn't everybody fail?
Yes, no, and that's what the problem with society is. We're teaching kids that failing is not okay, and that's what this is saying. Don't pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Don't
work hard.
Don't work hard because that capitalist ideal is to. I don't know what it's even trying to say. It's so stupid. Like, it's the heart of the property relation and demonstrate that without police, without state oppression. Okay, how is a state oppression when we practice laissez-faire? When we have trust busters that break up monopolies? How is that fucking oppression? Please explain that to me. How is it oppression? You know what's oppression? Look at FDR and the New Deal. If you really want to get to the bare bones of oppression, you can look at some of the shit that he did with the New Deal and say that was oppression. Or when Abraham Lincoln entered the Civil War, he oppressed people to get the war going. I mean, do people not know fucking history?
No, well,
Sorry.
they're erasing it. They're also not teaching it.
Now,
What were you thinking, Jesse? I see you looking over there.
Oh no, I'm just going through some of the other. Now, I guess the only defense I can say for is that the headline does say what are the reasons people deploy it as a strategy. So maybe she's just giving the reasons, but if you read the whole piece,
It doesn't sound like it.
I think she's kind of on the side of it, and just even the arguments that she's making are ridiculous. Because why wouldn't she just debunk them? I mean, in real time, if that was the case.
Because she's not.
But at the same time, Matt, when it talks about what is that stupid ass part again? And the reason the world's organized that way, obviously, is for the profit of the people.
First
who own
of
the
all,
stores and the factories. Now you've hired a lot
say
of people,
obviously,
right, Matt?
fuck you. Like that's
Yes.
such a.
See, that's what kind of gets you right there, right? Like
Yes, obviously.
that it's not just because it's not just about what's the tactic. It's she's putting that's her opinion right there. That's where that obviously comes in.
And she's talking down to you. Fuck you for saying that. By the way,
obviously it's for this. Now you've hired more people than I have, Matt, and let's say your business makes no money. Can you hire a lot of people?
no.
Now, if you have more money, if your business makes more money, what can you do with that money?
Well, here's the thing: is you have what's called a profit and loss statement, and on that you look at the expenditure of the company and where you can and cannot afford to put money. And yeah, some greedy companies afford not to hire laborers and put more of the tension on the backbreaking of the employees. Good companies don't do that. And I'm sorry, if you don't want to work for those bad companies, you can find a different job.
Leave the bad companies.
But here's the thing:
freedom of it.
and I get it,
Yeah.
and I don't always agree with that, and that's not. We need to work on that in America. We need a trust buster back. We do need to take on the tech companies. We do need to take on the corporations. I don't think that these people that tout Obama, look at everything Obama did. Why do you think we have President Trump? Look at the corporate tax rate in America is actually really high compared to the rest of the world, and people don't know that. Like, they don't understand. And so I think that but you're right that it's when you hire and fire people, it's a shitty thing. But at the same time, the most rewarding thing in the world is seeing people succeed, being able to make money and feed their families and grow into positions that they never thought they could be in. That is such a rewarding feat in America, and to teach your children that, I think is something even more rewarding.
So if there's a business that's not doing well, I mean, most likely it's not going to hire a lot of people. If your business is doing well, you're going to be able to hire more people, and those people can continually work up in a system to make more money to do better for themselves, right? So what's stupid about this whole statement is that she's saying obviously the whole thing is just for profit about the stores and the factories. It also gives a hell of a lot more opportunity to the individuals. Yep. Which is why America's the richest fucking country in the world.
Even our poorest are the richest in the world.
They're the fucking richest poor in the world. And that's what the whole Western world is pushed towards, instead of like there's being an upper crust of really rich people and everybody else having nothing.
And here's what's frustrating. I would have no qualms if saying we need to make minimum wage higher. If you made a here's what I said before when we were reading the article earlier. Where's your fucking policy argument? There's no policy here to make things better. I'm not a super fucking right person. Like, I am, center left. I like the idea of having someday a UBI that can push more, help lower income areas. I'm trying to find out. I know you guys don't, but that's what I'm saying. So, but that's what I'm looking at. So when I'm looking at it from that view, and that's my perception, is where the fuck is your argument? It's not. You are tearing everything down, and you're not giving it. There's nowhere to build it back up with.
Her title is in defense of looting, so she's specifically talking about defending looting and rioting in these protests.
I know, and I think societally it has a much bigger impact. So going to that importantly. Paragraph, Andy. Let's go ahead and move on.
There was still another paragraph. Oh
yeah, dude.
Of just that section.
I got.
It says importantly, I think especially. Right below the paragraph.
Oh, there we go.
Said.
Importantly, I think especially when it's in the context of a black uprising like the one we're living through now, it also attacks the history of whiteness and white supremacy, critical race theory. The very basis of property in the U.S. is derived through whiteness and through black oppression. Well, why do we have so many successful black people?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing is, it's a very out of context statement. Yes, she's right. We did do redlining. Black people did have a very hard time at getting property. I don't disagree with that. And I don't think that we're completely 100 back to where we need to be, but where's your policy? You know what I mean? You're just saying that she's saying something to. I know what she's trying to do with the statement, and it's infuriating because she's taking a bad and turning it into another bad that doesn't solve anything further. But yes, but there are successful black people. I get what you're saying, but finish that thought. Sorry.
Through the history of slavery and settler domination of the country, looting strikes at the heart of property, of whiteness, and of the police. I think it strikes at the heart of people who worked hard for their businesses.
Yeah, I don't know why. So here's the thing and here's what's weird. So why are you throwing police in there? And secondly, so she's talking about property. Are we talking? So you already said you don't support the individual robbing of homes because you don't want them coming to your home. So are you talking about just businesses? I mean, I don't know are we now not distinguishing property? I mean, I'm just trying to find out where we're lying here. Like, it's not clear.
At one point, she does say like we should attack the big businesses like Target and Louis Vuitton because they're corporate, whatever. But I mean, that's not what's happening. People are attacking small businesses.
It's like a dartboard, and she's just trying to hit like you know when you go for the 20 on the dartboard, and you're just hitting everything. You're just throwing darts, as many darts as possible,
well,
and hopefully you're gonna hit it.
Isn't she starting from like rioting and looting, and then how can I defend this? Like working backwards.
It seems like she's grasping at straws. So keep going on to it gets.
It gets to the very root of the way those three things are interconnected. Does it? How are those things interconnected? And also it provides people with an imaginative sense of freedom and pleasure. It sounds like kids. And helps them imagine a world that could be. That's so out of touch, and just she has no idea what the world is like. That's all I got to say about that.
Keep going though; it gets better.
And I think that's part of it that doesn't really get talked about. That the riots and looting our experience are sort of joyous and liberating. I don't know. Liberatory, because she can't fucking just say liberating. This is what I hate about snooty people. Snooty people use the dumbest damn words ever. Can you just liberatory? Like, okay, sorry. Like,
did Chris write this article?
Just that makes me sense. That's one of my.
Oh, actually, I think he did.
So this is one of my hot points. I get really frustrated with people that use big words in sentences they should not be in. You know, we're not at a spelling bee. You know, we're having a normal conversation here, and liberatory is a dumb word. And yes, I agree with that last statement though. I do agree with it because I think it hits on. I think it hits on the heartstring of why people do looting, because at that you're part of a movement. It feels great.
Sure.
I agree with that, but it doesn't make it right. Or
no.
And she's linking.
Well, so it's just like, I mean, serial killers love to kill people, and should they do it? No.
Yeah, but so you're linking. So the one sentence of your whole fucking article here that you're trying to link back into everything else that you've written. It's just ridiculous. Who wrote this article? And why would NPR ever post some shit like this?
Yeah, I don't know. We should probably hit on some of the. I don't know. There's so much to hit on here.
How much time we got?
We're at 24 minutes. So Andy, you've read this article. I haven't read it yet. What are the main takeaways that you want to say about this article?
Oh gosh, main takeaways. I think it rioting and looting help the movement. It gets people what they want right away, and it makes their lives better, which I don't agree with. It's not against. They're not doing violent things against human beings, which she has no idea how mob mentality works, and that people want to defend their businesses. So it's okay because we're not hurting people, even though that's not what's happening. Apparently, almost all businesses have insurance, which makes it right. Yeah.
So how many businesses haven't recovered because they can't get the insurance?
Yeah, there have been a few examples already where businesses did not have insurance and people did raise money for them, but not everyone has that luxury. Or not luxury, but like that opportunity.
Or they're not getting what they wanted out of the business. You see what I'm saying? Or the value of what they claim isn't getting paid back. So yes, you may get some insurance claims, but it's not covering everything that you needed to survive as a business. So imagine this. Okay, say you get looted and burnt down, right? Mm-hmm. What if you're out of business? If your business is closed for 6 weeks, how are you going to re-employ those people?
Yeah.
So now you're just hurting the area by which you said is liberating and looting because you just took people out of their jobs, and it's been proven. And now the stupid Democrats, now they're starting to come out against looting because it's hurting them in the polls, and it's so frustrating.
It's about power. That's all what it's about.
I don't have much nice to say because really, I just want to say this bitch.
So let's take it out, Jesse. Go ahead.
There's a part at the end, and I'll try to talk fast. It says during recent riots, this is like the question. During recent riots, the sentiment I heard was that a lot was the looters in cities like Minneapolis were hurting their own cause by destroying small businesses in their own neighborhoods, stores owned by immigrants of people of color, blah, blah, blah. Her final paragraph in that says, to say you're attacking your own community is to say to rioters, you don't know what you're doing. But I disagree. I think people know. They might have worked in those shops. They might have shopped and been followed around by security guards or by those owners. One of the causes of the LA riots was a Korean small business owner, blah, 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 blah. And that was a family-owned, immigrant-owned business where anti-blackness and white supremacist violence was being perpetrated. So she's basically just saying that, that it's even, you can't even say that these people are just, destroying their own stuff. There's probably good reason why the looters and rioters are doing it, because they're thoughtful. They really think about this stuff before they fucking go destroy everything and try to steal everything.
So dumb.
Oh, it's also a Republican myth that small businesses increase the amount of jobs. That's also what she says in here.
She says, oh, really?
There's no more likely to have to provide good stuff for the community than big business. It's actually a Republican myth that has over the last 20 years really crawled into the leftist discourse, that the small business owner must be respected, that the small business owner creates jobs and is part of the community. But that is actually a right-wing myth.
Well, whatever. I can't even respond.
Do we have enough time to keep going?
We're at 27 minutes.
The last paragraph says... Go ahead. And I don't even know what the question is, but it doesn't really matter. The last paragraph says, ultimately, what nonviolence ends up meaning is that the activist doesn't do anything that makes them feel violent. And I think getting free is messier than that. We have to be willing to do things that scare us and that we wouldn't do in normal, peaceful times because we need to get free.
Why isn't she banned? You ban Alex Jones for saying some dumb shit, and then you're not going to ban somebody saying that violence is okay? She's saying that violence is okay.
Yeah.
How is that not okay? I don't get that.
I don't understand how you do base something. I don't know, based on what makes people feel violent. That doesn't make any sense.
That whole statement doesn't make sense. She's lost all. You cannot say violence is okay. How many times have people asked Trump, do you condemn violence? Do you condemn the KKK? You know what I mean? And yes, we don't condemn violence. It's so stupid. It's just, I don't get it. So take us out, Andy. What are your final thoughts on the article?
It's a bunch of BS. And just someone who's out of touch with reality, who has no idea what's going on or how things work or how business runs or how insurance works. And yet she's trying to defend the taking of stuff. So it just makes a lot of sense.
Sucks. All right, guys. See you in the next segment. Peace.